Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Delhi Township Board of Trustees meeting for July the 9th, 2025. We will have a Pledge of Allegiance followed by a moment of silence to begin tonight's meeting. Tonight's moment of silence is for Will Timmer. Will Timmer was the husband of a very dear friend of Delhi Township, Sue Timmer. A lot of us know Sue from walking with the Historical Society, but Will was an interesting guy. He had lots of fun with life. He served in the Navy on both the USS Saratoga and the USS Tulare. I hope I'm saying that right. But he had many interests and was a fun guy. He was a member of the Cincinnati Beard Barons. So we join Sue Timmer and her family as they mourn the death of Will Timmers. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. We will begin with the approval of the minutes. Mr. Luby.
Motion to approve the minutes from the special meetings on June 27th, 2025, June 30th, 2025, and July 2nd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes. Motion approved.
Motion to approve payment of overtime for pay period ending June 24th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve bills for payment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved. Report from our fiscal officer, Mr. Luby.
We have Resolution 2025-118, amending appropriations for expenses, declaring an emergency, and dispensing with the second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Is there any discussion on this resolution?
This is an adjustment for appropriations for some increased medical expenses. We did have some reimbursements to the police and fire for $80,000 from the general fund. They were on the budget, but they did not make it into UAN. So this is just adding on to UAN.
All right.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis? Yes. Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes.
Significant transactions since our last meeting. We did pay Stacy Heating and Cooling almost $17,000 for two new AC units for the police department. Our payroll on 7/3 was $362,000. As far as deposits on $35,000, we received $35,000 from Anderson Park Condo Association for reimbursement for some water drainage issues. $19,000 from Hamilton County Auditor for the permissive motor vehicle license tax. And we received $63,000, which was a combination of the local government distribution fund, state motor vehicle license tax, and gasoline tax. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Luby. Trustee correspondence. Trustee Davis.
Just letters, obviously, of gratitude to our safety services, which one of you probably will cover, but other than that, no.
All right. Trustee Sturts.
Yes. I'm usually the one who covers those, so
It's all yours.
Thank you, Trustee Davis. We got quite a few. Either they called in, they stopped by, sent a note or whatever, but I'm just going to quote some of them because I just love giving recognition where recognition's due. Over the past 2 weeks, your departments have stood beside us. This came from the chief of Whitewater Township Fire and EMS. We do mutual aid to areas around us, and they reciprocate, and when we need them, they do that. So this is in regards to those two instances. Over the past 2 weeks, your departments have stood beside us, responding to several structure fires and other challenging incidents throughout Whitewater Township. Your professionalism, dedication, and tireless support have not gone unnoticed. We're truly grateful for your partnership and proud to serve alongside you. I think that speaks volumes of our personnel as we're being recognized by other locations. From families, a husband of a patient visited one of our fire department's, his wife had gone into cardiac arrest, and he basically wants to say the family thanks the crews from the 30s and 33s for their outstanding efforts to lead to resuscitating the patient. That's very important when you have a loved one in distress. I like this one. I had a fantastic trip to Mercy, compliments of Delhi's finest. Please tell them how much I appreciate their professionalism. So even the ambulance rides are pretty cool. And then a patient from a certain location called to express her gratitude and rave about how well you treated her. Another job well done. Keep it going. And then somebody sent us a funny note, but I'm not sure I want to read it. But they were also thankful for saving her life. But thank you to them. Now, I know we don't get these much for the police department, but I think when somebody's in cuffs, they don't feel like writing us a letter, right, Chief? But we know how professional your troops are, too. So we're very proud of all of our people. Is somebody are you going to touch on last night, or are you going to touch on today?
I'm going to touch on last night and today.
Okay, well, then we'll give you that right.
We can all join in on this one because,
Right.
first off, let's start with last night.
Let's do.
Last night was fantastic. The lawn bar and the concert from the Cincinnati Metropolitan Orchestra had to be just one of the best, if not the best. And I want to thank everyone who came out. I want to thank the behavior of everyone that was there, the courteous, the friendliness. It was tremendous, and it was such a beautiful reflection on our Delhi residents to have that type of a concert, that many people. And of course, we also had a very special guest.
I think that's what made the night,
We were serenaded last night at the Lawn Bar and the Cincinnati Metropolitan Orchestra by none other than Trustee Mike Davis.
Yeah.
So we had a great evening. And Mike, did you want to comment on it?
No, it was a fantastic night. I mean, it was an honor for me to be able to sing with the Cincinnati Metropolitan Orchestra. That was fun. That was a blast. But to see so many people, hundreds of people gathered out there. Comment I had was, I went back because last night, if you missed it, we had free hot dogs, hamburgers, brats, meds, and we asked for donations to kids, cops, and firemen to help offset that, which was great. Donated, obviously. So it was a fun night. But as I was walking back the drive, some gentleman in the back stopped me, and maybe he's watching the meetings. He stopped me and he says, "Hey, Trustee Davis." And I said, "Yeah." And he puts his hand out and shakes my hand. He goes, and he pulled me. He's a big guy. He pulls me, and he's like, "Is this a big deal?" Pointing to the crowd and to the event going on. I said, "Yeah, I think it is." I was like,
Absolutely. It certainly was.
He is a resident in one of our apartments here, and he lives here with his kids, and was just so thrilled. He goes, "This is what I'm talking about." And I said, that's what we're talking about, that we really can have this much fun right here in Delhi Township. What you saw last night is just the beginning of lots of great, great things. And again, it's to make it family-friendly, safe. You know, people praise our police and the fire all the time because they feel safe in our environment. People out looking for new homes. Guess what the top two things are they're looking for? One is safety. Safety, safety. Second are the schools and the school systems that are there. So we're in good shape. Delhi, great job last night. Our police officers that were there last night, keeping everything safe. It was just a fun night, so that's all I have to say on that.
Yes. And by the way, everyone, the Lawn Bar is open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right?
Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday.
And special
okay.
events.
And we do have entertainment at that Lawn Bar, so watch our announcements for upcoming performers that will be out there. But also, don't forget, we're in summer concert series, and the next concert is the Eagles Project, which is always a big draw because they are tremendous. Right. So I think you're going to be reading that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes,
okay.
right. Yep.
All right. Super.
One thing about last night, we started to do a head count from this aerial photo.
Oh yeah, from the drone.
Not counting the performers. There's about 400 people in this picture.
Nice.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yep.
And that was early on.
And we had room for more, so
did, yeah, right.
come on out. Don't let that 400 number scare you.
Yeah.
Did you have something?
Yes, let's not forget and thank the fire department who did the grilling. And the food, do I believe, came from Kroger's? Kroger's donated it? Okay. Thank you,
Super.
Kroger's, for the
Thank you,
donation of
Kroger.
the hamburgers and brats and so on and so forth. Our Parks Department setting everything up. We had community development working out there. We had all of our departments out there working. It was definitely a group effort for the enjoyment of our residents. So thank you to all of our departments.
And we turned around and we had everybody out early this morning because this morning we put shovels to the dirt for the new Seton Center. And it was a tremendous, tremendous event and opportunity to officially welcome Seton to a Delhi Township address. You know, for years we've had the alumni and the students as residents, but now we have got their activities and their competition, and it's going to be thrilling. And we were so glad that all of our department heads were there this morning to meet and greet Seton and officially welcome them to the township. So we'll say it again. Welcome, Seton Saints, to Delhi Township. We look forward to all the activity and the excitement that you'll bring to us in the coming years. Anything?
I just have one last thing. We were talking about it last night. From where you are now, Delhi Town Square, and if you have not had a tour of this, please stay after. We'll give you a tour or schedule it, whatever you want. From
Rose led one today.
Yeah, the Delhi Athletic Club
Yeah.
next door and everything here is $70 million. $70 million that was invested in here so that we could have better services for the residents, so that we could make things fun, so that people have a place to live. 180 that has a waiting list. There's no any openings, maybe one, I think, which was the model unit. And then you look at Seton, who just broke ground this morning, $15 million. Foley and Pedretti, 48 units, Episcopalian Home Services, I believe,
Yep.
16 million. No. Over $100 million has been invested in our home and in our place because people believe in Delhi. They know what we are. We're one of the best kept secrets. You're 11 minutes from downtown, anywhere you want to be across the bridge. And it's nice, and the roads are nice, and your safety services are good. I just think sometimes, not because we're sitting here all together, but it's like sometimes you have got to count your blessings and just look really right around you and some other jurisdictions around us who do not have that, who, not to go on to it, the city of Cincinnati just figuring out their crime issues with their youth and everything else, figuring out we need more police officers. Gosh, you think? Or how about allowing the police officers just to do their jobs? How about that? And the court systems to back that up.
That's right.
If I was going to say something, I'd say something like
Say-
that, but I'm glad I
okay.
didn't.
Rosie,
So there
Glad
you
you
go.
held your tongue.
What other comment?
No, we're just so proud, on what I say no, and then I really do. Okay. Long ago, when we start planning this development here, the Pike, this was the catalyst. That was always the object for this, to be the catalyst of new things in Delhi. We weren't even open a year here, and Seton found us. They wanted to be our neighbor, and they're being good neighbors and working very cooperatively. So it's wonderful to have them here. We also have Oak Hills using, the pool is their pool is in the athletic club. Their preschool's right next door, below. So, we love being partnering with our neighbors and our schools. So.
And that's very important to us, is our relationship and our business relationship, as well as our friendly relationship to our schools and our school district. And that's a good point out, is the preschool and the pool, and now Seton is our neighbor. And so on that note, tonight we get to celebrate some very special students in Delhi Township. And that is a special presentation that we'll be doing tonight from the Cultural Arts Center. These are the Art Award presentations. If you haven't been to the art gallery here at the Town Center, please stop by. We just finished this art contest. Is that a way of putting it, Jenny? She's giving me the eye. But it was tremendous, and the participation was great, and the judging was fun. And we're going to now make those presentations public to all of you and share these fantastic young people, artists that we have in Delhi Township. So what we'll do is the board, if you'll step to the one side, winners, follow Ginny over to this side, and we'll start the presentation. I'm sure this is just the first of many art shows that we will be sharing with all of you. But this one's pretty special because this is our kids. This is our kids, and they were terrific. Ginny, want to join me? This is Ginny Volley, and she's the arts programming administrator here at Delhi Town Center. So she's going to help me with this presentation. And behind me is our board. So as I call your name, come across. We've got an award for you, and meet the Board of Trustees of Delhi Township. All right, we'll begin with the youngster, the elementary school art. Our winner in this category was Aria Pruitt for Sparkles and Ella. So, congratulations, dear. Here's your award. And these people would like to meet you as well. From the middle school category, Kyra Applegate for self-portrait. Kyra? Congratulations, Kyra.
And if you look at her picture, this is it. She did a beautiful job.
This is her self-portrait. That's fantastic, Kyra. Kyra, please meet the rest of our Delhi trustees. Special presentation, recognition for high school art. I'm going to get this Sammy harnessed for the Lincoln Memorial. Oh, yes!
Dots to the tape. Oh, a lot.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's great.
Winning from the college art category is Andrew Wobeling for the Sounds of Summer. I got a feeling that was the cicada sounds. Is that right, Jenny? All right, well, we'll save this for Andrew. But our last award, we've got a special assistant for the presentation. I'd like you all to meet Claire Butler. And Claire Butler is an artist here in the local area, and she's a huge supporter of the arts, especially for the young people in learning. And Claire has put together a prize package for the recognition of the People's Choice Award. And that award tonight is being presented to Kendallin Kress for A Little Grizzly. Thank you. And then meet Claire. This was a tremendous gift from Claire. It's a terrific art set with different tools that I'm sure will get a good workout. So I want to congratulate all the winners tonight on behalf of the Delhi Township Board of Trustees and Fiscal Officer. We were thrilled to be part of the judging, and it was a thrill just to have all the applicants and the different. Oh, my goodness, the media was terrific. Huh, Jenny? This is Jenny.
We had 10 different schools and 150 plus pieces of art. There were more than 250 votes for our People's Choice altogether that voted for over 56 different pictures. So it's a real honor to present all that to you, and it will be up in the gallery till August 1st.
So come by and take a look at the winners. Are you going to mark those with a ribbon or something, Jenny? They're marked already. I should have known. She's the art expert. Well, anyway, congratulations to our winners. We're going to take a quick pause in the meeting so that we can get some photos with our winners, and then also for an opportunity for if the families need to leave at that point in time. We do understand. All right? So thank you. All right, continuing with tonight's agenda, Let's move into the tax budget hearing for 2026. Mr. Luby?
We've got a motion to open the public hearing to review the tax budget for fiscal year 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved. We will now review the tax budget by the Township Administrator.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and take over on the tax budget.
Or our Fiscal Officer.
So this is an annual exercise. It's required by the state of Ohio, and it's followed by all the townships in Ohio. And our department started pulling these numbers together several weeks ago. And in the tax budget is an outline of estimated revenues and expected expenses and anticipated expenses for the next fiscal year, 2026. Also, when we're going through this, we take into consideration any fund balance carryovers from prior years as well. The most important thing to maybe keep in mind is that these are estimates. And, the whole process is set up to, again, make sure that we've got enough funds to function through 2026, which obviously we do. A couple key dates during this process is July 15th. Obviously, we have to get this tax budget submitted to the county commissioners, budget commission, by July 15th. Then before September 1st, on or before, we will hear from the county commission, and they will go ahead and send us a official certificate of resources. And if we are in agreement with that, and then by October 1st, we will go ahead and pass a resolution accepting the certified tax levies. So again, this is an annual process. It is an estimate, and based upon the numbers that we pulled together, I feel like we're in pretty good shape getting us through 2026. So with that, we can open it up to public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Luby. At this point in time, is there anyone here that would like to submit a public comment regarding the tax budget? All right, I believe that's a no. Then let's go to the motion then to close the public hearing, Mr. Luby.
We have a motion to close the public hearing for the tax budget for fiscal year 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. All right, let's begin then with the department reports. And Fire Department, you get to go first.
We have a motion to accept the voluntary resignation of part-time firefighter EMT Nathan J. Scherer, effective June 25th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve the promotion of David T. Bankin as career fire captain, effective July 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Wow, congratulations, David Bankin.
Motion to approve the promotion of Zachary M. Roselle as career fire lieutenant, effective July 25th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. Congratulations to Zachary Roselle. Thank you. I know that was, when you've got the cream of the crop, it's hard to pick from, is it not, Doug?
No, we took quite a bit of time with all the candidates going through the testing process. We bring in third party through the Ohio State Fire Chiefs Association, both all validated for testing and things like that. And it comes down to the simple fact that it is a very, very hard decision. We've got very qualified candidates, which is very nice to see, especially with our succession planning and things that we have in place to have our internal candidates rise through the ranks and really shine. And we're looking forward to Zach and Dave in the next, I guess, their next capacity with these promotions. And then we'll bring them back, hopefully end of August, early September, introduce in front of their families and do our promotional ceremony then.
Right. Well,
Wish Nathan Scherer well. He was a part-time employee with us, did get hired full-time at Coleraine and started medic school, and just got a little bit too tough to keep working with us part-time. So we do wish him well in Coleraine.
Understood. Well, thank you for your service while you were here. Is that, I guess that was Nathan?
Nathan.
Nathan, yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or updates?
Yeah, I have our June statistics, so I know I just gave you May's and I spoke too soon. About a 4.5% increase. So we went from under 2 to 4.5 in 1 month. Yes, we made quite a few runs, nearly 400 runs. I don't want to jinx us or anything like that, but we are up year to date 4.5%. July looks very much the same. We've had a couple days in July where we had over 25 runs in a day. So, yeah, we're certainly hopping. You know, a lot of just general things going on in the township. We have those issues, but I'm pleased to report that the average response time is still that 5 minutes, 16 seconds. It keeps coming down. So making more runs and focusing more on our delivery and deployment, it's in their minds. Get out the door quick and get to the run. Yep. And I did want to follow up and brief the board on Hibernia as well. So we had a fire there a couple weeks ago. Be the next slide. So upon their arrival, this is what they saw. This is a cam out of our district vehicle, arrived shortly after the call. This one in particular, I like to provide the public some information in regards to any of our fires. Just easily stated, all fires are preventable. They just don't happen. You know, there is a way to prevent them. And in this case, it brings to light some of the things that I've been talking over the recent weeks and the new challenges that we're seeing nationally with the fire service and some of those things. It's related to lithium-ion battery and charging. So, again, Delhi is very consistent with the trends. We've had 4 significant lithium-ion battery fires since 2022. So far, year to date, that's contributed to about $80,000 in property loss. Again, prevention is key. And understanding things that you can do to offset the dangers and risks that are associated with it. A couple things to remind people: use UL-approved chargers and batteries designed for a purpose. Do not swap batteries and chargers randomly. The chargers should be for the batteries. There's ways of overriding them. You can go onto YouTube University and learn all about, hacking into these things. It's not recommended. Use them as they were intended. Discard of any damaged or dead lithium-ion batteries at designating locations. Again, a reminder that Delhi is one of the few places in Hamilton County you can drop off a damaged or dead lithium-ion battery to our fire headquarters at 697 Neeb Road, and we will properly have it disposed of with the Cincinnati Reuse and Recycle Hub. So there's that. You have an excuse. Most importantly, get out of the habit of leaving things on the charger if you can do it. Attendance by charging, if you're charging tools in the garage before you go to bed, take them off the charger. I think that's one of those things we overlook. We just realize, most people don't have smoke detectors in their garage, and certainly by the time it reaches a smoke detector in the house, it's a little bit too late. It may be enough time to get out of the house, but it's a little too late in terms of a small fire. So something to consider out in that. So along those lines, we talked about kitchen fires last time. This one's a little bit different. And again, this is just a part of our education. And I think I would be remiss if I didn't take the time to say our fire department does more than respond to emergency calls. We focus so much time and energy and expense to educating the public, sharing our experiences with them so that they can be safer and have a better understanding before this tragedy happens to them personally or a neighbor, that they have the information to escape quickly, determine if they've had a fire, medical calls, you name it. We invest so much of our time and energy to make sure that these things don't happen, but we're always prepared when they do. Yes?
This involved an EV battery, but it wasn't in a car, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And our experience with battery fires is becoming more prevalent as mobile devices have higher capacity batteries. So certainly e-scooters, e-bikes are real concern for the fire service industry to be charging those in apartments and dorms. That's one of those things where we've got to get the word out. That is not a safe place to have them. Lithium-ion batteries produce more toxic smoke than average combustibles. It's toxic. It can really do a lot of damage if inhaled, and they taste 4 times the amount of water to extinguish them. So there's some certain challenges on them, but that doesn't take away from their benefits. Our society is built around having batteries and things like that. They do have a place. It's just understanding some of the risks.
That looks like a Corvette in a driveway. Was that saved?
They were able to extinguish the fire with just small heat damage to it.
Okay.
Obviously, it was close enough to it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think the
Good for
important
them.
message, too, is that we do have a way to safely dispose of these, and it's at the fire station on Nave Road. So,
Always happy to help.
don't be careless. Bring them over and let them handle the disposal of your lithium batteries. And I was surprised. I just bought lithium batteries that are the size of AA's. I didn't even realize that those were available.
Yes. Yep. All sorts, shapes and sizes, and everything from laptops to phones. So just kind of putting a friendly reminder out there to consider your use. And the best thing you can do is charge attended. Be aware that they're charging, and then obviously do not leave them charged overnight.
Chief, you mentioned that it takes more water to extinguish these. Are there other techniques being developed, like foam applications or?
So foam applications are under research. The challenge is that they're not open compartments. There's a thing it's called thermal runaway, because they're sealed chemical batteries. Getting the water to those individual cells, you can't get the water in. You can only cool it, but because they burn at such a high temperature, everything around them ignites. So that's the challenge that we have. And the fire department's gone to great lengths to adopt new techniques, new ways to apply water for EV fires, lithium battery fires. We have a car blanket. We've got charging blocks. So we've really kind of taken it upon ourselves to get in there while this is becoming a hot topic and being able to adjust to these things differently.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Doug. Parks and Recreation, Director Suppi.
We have a motion to approve the hourly rate for Teresa L. Trimpe, Administrative Assistant in the Parks Department, to $23.10 per hour, effective July 24th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved. Thank you for all your hard work, Teresa.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, she's great. So a few other updates. First of all, the dog park update. Water fountains were installed and completed last week. We got those finished, ready to go. We are starting the agility equipment. The guys were out there today. They're going to finish up about half of them right now. They're going to work tomorrow on them. Following that will be our benches install and signage, and hopefully open pretty soon. So no exact date yet, because the guys are doing the stuff in between their work time. So it's coming up, but we're getting closer for sure. So let's see. We're getting quotes also on and POs set for the pickleball shades add-ons and divider nets. So those are coming out soon. Let's see, myself and Administrator Miller have to add on for the dog park quote, CDBG grant. We have a meeting coming up. We're going to do the dog park entrance in there and do some more paving on the paths. It'll possibly do a tennis court new entrance as well. So back to there. And I also wanted to go, lastly but not leastly, I talk with our volunteers at Flow of Paradise a lot. They called me today and made sure. They wanted me to send a note out to everyone listening, and they're doing fantastic up there. And they encourage the residents to go up and visit. It is going to start blooming here in the next month. Everything's coming out. I believe the black-eyed peas, everything. They have new sculptures. They said it looks fantastic. So encourage residents to go up and take a look. If you don't know where it is, it's off of Greenwell Avenue.
It's on, the Greenwell Avenue entrance.
It is kind of a little hidden gem there, so they have done wonderful with it. So I wanted to give them a plug and make sure people go see it.
They deserve more than just a plug. They really deserve our appreciation
for sure.
keeping that
Yes.
the way it is. It's great. All right.
kind of
Got
all I
it?
got right now. If any questions, let me know.
I have one. As far as, I know you said shades over by the pickleball, but as far as those with their dogs and things, is there a shaded area where,
Down in the dog park area, we don't have those yet because I'm getting ready to place the benches. After that, it's going to be a growing process. We'll install that kind of stuff when it's coming up as well. So
like this year, or are you talking next year?
probably in the end of the next year, we'll start. I'll budget for that and do more shades for there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can imagine if you're just sitting there with your dog for 45 minutes blistering
sure,
in the sun,
yeah.
it's not going to be a pleasant experience.
And it took a process to get the location is a little out of the way, so we had to do the water line boring under. We had to get everything set. A little bit of a challenge to get everything down there. So once we're getting there, we'll add and add and add to everything and make sure we're getting stuff for the people.
Okay.
So, yeah.
The second one was, through discussions over the last week or two, we're talking about holiday and with the Hootenanny in October and such. Thoughts or board or on moving it here to DTS, and that way you're getting much more visibility and fun. And what do you have any thoughts off the top of your head?
I haven't looked at it. We've always done it at Storywoods. There's issues out there for parking and moving people as well. It's always a possibility. I know the location is nice out there, kind of secluded in the woods area and stuff, so it kind of fits the area, but I surely open up for, any kind of conversation if it's
It
needed.
might be good to have a discussion. It is secluded. It's so secluded that you don't get a lot of people that you should get.
True.
Because I know we've all taken turns driving people in, and they're
Yeah,
all
you
like,
guys-
"Wow, we had no idea this was here."
Yeah, you guys do well with that.
Yeah. And again, with a ton of parking here, and to have an event like that, and just
Yeah, not that there can be any change. It's always possible.
Yep.
We just have started there, and it's been there, and we've had it. It's just still in case.
And I know you got tons of other priority things on your list right now with summer, but
We could definitely take a look
yeah,
at it.
something to kind of put on the
no
back
doubt.
burner. But yeah, thank you.
Good
Thanks.
thought. All right, thank you. Police Department, Chief Braun?
Good evening. So I just want to go over some crime stats. I know it's been a couple months since I've done that. In 2025, we're up slightly, 6%, which really equates to 3 reports a month. But keep in mind, last year was such a stellar year that we're down 27.5% from 2023 still. So obviously, it's still a great year this year. Our guys and girls are doing a great job. Dispatches are up 6.43%. Incidents were up 16.6%. We're seeing a slight increase for crashes this year, and we've looked at everything, and we've attributed it to the bad winter we had. We had a lot of crashes during that couple-month period where we got a lot of snow. Response time, sorry, Doug, we're at 4.89 minutes. And then just to give you an update on...
That's starting in a car, though.
Doug's got you beat.
Correct. Over 13,000 incidents.
Oh,
So year-to-date for flock cameras, we've had 13 arrests, 60,000 in recovered stolen property, 8 stolen car recoveries, multiple hit skips solved, along with many other investigative leads that the cameras provided. So
Wow.
I can't thank you guys enough for having those, and that's huge. As usual, I like to plug, we're still getting stuff stolen out of cars. The other night, we had 4 or 5 reports. People are leaving stuff in unlocked cars in plain view. I mean, if they could give us a hand with that, put stuff away, lock your cars. Generally speaking, we're not getting windows broken out. We still do have some of those. And I will say that we had a stolen car the other night where somebody approached the officers and said, "Hey, I saw somebody get out of a van with a flashlight, but, this was the next morning," and said, I just didn't call. We, like Doug just mentioned, we're roving all the time, and we can get there within a couple minutes. So if you see something, please say something. I can't say that enough. I mean, we're there 24/7, 365, and we want people to call. So crime is good, dispatches are up, calls for service are up, response times are staying the same. But please, 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 if you see something, say something.
Well, it's the old adage, if they don't know, they can't react. So pick up the phone and call either the emergency or the non-emergency number, if in fact that's where it qualifies for your call. Trustee Davis?
No, I agree. That is so frustrating when you see that. But you see it on social media all the time. When someone, "Oh, my car got broken into," and da-da-da. "Did you call the police?" "Well, no. But my neighbor said they saw that." It's like, what are you doing? Other than that, lock your doors. And you are getting some broken into through the glass, but it's like, do the neighborly thing. Always keep an eye out on your neighbors. You know, if you see something, you're not a bother. You can call and just say, hey, I don't want to really get involved, but I just saw something crazy, and let them come and check it out. That's simple.
And I will say the stolen car I just mentioned, we already tracked them down in Kentucky. We know who they are, and they're going to get a visit from us here soon. So
Great.
we appreciate that.
Trustee Sturts?
No, thank you for your service.
good?
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay, Public Works, Director Rippinger.
Thank you, trustees. I'll be quick here. I did reach out to Hamilton County engineers, and I know we go over this a lot. They maintain the main roads in Delhi Township, typically the 35-mile-per-hour roads. But I wanted to see what they were putting in grant-wise. And they did put in for this last year, but it did not make the cut. It would be Bender Road and Delhi Pike up to Neeb Road. So they are putting in for that again. I know we've been pushing on this for a few years. If it doesn't get accepted through the SORTA grant, they are going to put in for the SKIP grant through state funding also. So that's good news. Try to keep the gateways looking good is what we always push for. Any
I
questions?
want everyone to take note because Director Suppi mentioned a grant, and Ron Rippinger just mentioned a grant, and this is how we help our fiscal officer in his financing. We apply, we work towards getting additional funds from the state, from the federals, from different organizations that also present grant opportunities. So these directors of these departments not only work on our budget, but they work on obtaining additional funds. And thank you, all of you, for doing that. It certainly helps our budgeting process. Thank you. Anything else, Ron?
That's about all I got.
That's all you got?
Any questions?
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Administration, then. Resolution. Mr. Luby?
Resolution 2025-119, adopting the tax budget for fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2026 pursuant to RC 5705.28, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And is there any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Miller?
Mr. Luby did a wonderful job explaining the tax budget process earlier. You know, I always treat this as the beginning of our new budgeting cycle.
Process, yes.
What we do in the tax budget tees up the appropriations for later this fall.
Okay, thank you.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, call the roll.
Mr. Davis? Yes. Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes.
Resolution 2025-120, adding the retire rehire program policy to Article 3 employment, updating the marketing and events director and adding the assistant marketing and events director, arts programming administrator, and arts instructor job descriptions to the marketing and events department in Article 12 position descriptions, and adding the administration clerk job description to the administration department in Article 12 positions descriptions, leaving the remainder in effect, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution?
Well, thank you, Mr. Luby, for
It's a mouthful.
that mouthful. This is our little version of the big beautiful bill. I won't. We. As promised, what we've been talking about, we're standing up a whole new department. And with that comes a lot of updates to our personnel policy, adding job descriptions, job classifications. We have some additional township-wide policies, the retire rehire, that's all in this. So it's an omnibus resolution, if you will, but it's all pertaining to updates to our personnel policy.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I'll move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes.
Motion to approve the hiring of Robert L. Riesenberg as Marketing and Events Director in the Events Department, at a rate of $3,461.54 per day, per pay period, I'm sorry, requiring a voice stress analyzer test and employment drug test, and establishing his vacation accrual date as January 1st, 2024, effective on July 9th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Welcome, Mr. Riesenberg, to Delhi Township.
Thank you.
We did a lot of searching and a lot of interviewing and a lot of reviewing, and we're pleased to welcome Bob Riesenberg to the Delhi Director family. Thank you.
We have a motion to approve the hiring of Mary C. Anakin as Assistant Marketing and Events Director in the Events Department at a rate of $2,880 per pay period, requiring a voice stress analyzer test and employment drug test, using 50% of time in OPERS to establish her vacation accrual date, and accepting 50% of her sick time from the Hamilton County Park District, effective on July 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved. And welcome back, Mary Anakin. Some of you may recognize that name. And again, she was part of this search and a lot of interviewing and a lot of reviewing, and we're so pleased to welcome back Mary Anakin to the Delhi Group. Thank you.
We have a motion to approve the hiring of Julia C. Grace as Administration Clerk at a rate of $23 per hour, effective on July 9th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved.
Motion to approve the hiring of Aiden J. Haley as Event Attendant in the Marketing and Events Department at $15 per hour, requiring an employment drug test within 45 days, effective on July 8th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved. All right. Do you have anything else, Mr. Miller?
Yes, ma'am. I'll just do a quick update. I'll talk about all these hirings, as a group. This is the culmination of a lot of work, a lot of review by this board. Thank you for the time, effort, dedication you've put into this. This is a promise to the community. I think that we're going to make Delhi Town Square, a focal point of the community, a center for excitement for the township, and getting these key players in place is just moving that ball down the field for us. Mr. Riesenberg, who will be our marketing and events director, he's a certified meeting professional with decades of experience in event and hospitality and operations management. As an added bonus, I'd say, he's an Elder alum, and he's coming back home. Bob grew up on Bob, so he's looking forward to starting with us. Expect him, tentatively, we're trying to have his start date next Monday. So looking forward to having him come in and take over the reins. Mary, like was mentioned, Mary Anakin, she's coming back to us. She was the events coordinator before, and will now be the assistant director for marketing and events. She's a Xavier grad and a certified festival and event associate. So lots of experience, good, we've got a good leadership team for this new department. Julia is coming back to us. She was full-time with the administration under Mr. Luby as the assistant fiscal officer, and she's taken on a new role for us after coming back from maternity leave. And then Aiden, he's a hard worker that we brought on under contract, and now we're just essentially kind of filling out our the bar setup team, as well as helping out with setup in here. So yep, he'll be a good addition.
Great.
So
Thank you.
that's all I have on that front. Real quick, I'll just go through some events. First off, it was a wonderful event last night with the Cincinnati Metropolitan Orchestra. They had some special guest here that sang a few songs. Do we remember the name? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, very excited to see over 400 400 folks here on the lawn all at once. The weather actually cooperated with us, so that was great. In addition to our special events, the summer camp has been doing very well. We're getting around 30 kids a day, give or take. With the last, just some pictures from the last week where we did the day camp superhero week. So thank you to our police and fire departments for participating and supporting that effort. So this program seems like a huge success, and looking forward to seeing it grow year over year. So just real quick, had a couple of pictures from last night as well. And yes, our very own Mike Davis was performing. So that was fun to watch him bring his performance home to the lawn. So other than that, we had the big highlight from the athletic club. Last Thursday, we hit 100,000 check-ins. Wow. So that was pretty. We haven't announced who that person is yet, but we do know who it is. So we'll see if we'll do a little something special and a thank you for being our 100,000th. I can't even say it. Patron coming into the building. And that's it. That's all I have for this week.
All right. Thank you. All right. Community development. If you're following this agenda, you will notice that there was a motion here to file it for an appeal being filed. That has been withdrawn. Okay. So I think we can begin then, Mr. Luby, with the resolutions for excessive vegetation. Is that correct, Director Roach?
That's correct.
Okay.
Resolution 2025-121, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5358 Orange Lawn Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of the resolution. Are we going to have pictures?
Yep.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Any discussion on this resolution?
Picture says the words.
It
Move to
certainly
dispense
does.
with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis? Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2025-122, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 4920 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I do have a call into the construction manager because they are in the middle of a remodel of the interior, but we'll try to resolve it before we have to go and abate it.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2025-123, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 4438 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this?
Same thing.
Move to
Same
dispense.
thing.
Sorry. Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis? Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2025-124, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 416 Greenwell Avenue, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Same story.
Yes.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2025-125, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 889 Anderson Ferry Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution?
Yep, we're trying to resolve it before we have to go to abate it, so, that that's a development site there, and we're hoping the development starts soon, so hopefully we can get it taken care of.
This is the corner of Anderson Ferry and Rapid Run.
That's correct.
Okay.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
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 Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis? Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes.
Resolution 2025-126, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 576 Claymore Terrace, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
Introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion?
It's tall grass.
All tall grass. Okay,
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
all those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes.
Resolution 2025-127, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 493 Pedretti Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? No.
Tony, is that owned by that house there?
I'm sorry, Trustee Davis.
Grass area that we're looking at, is that owned by that house that we're looking at?
It's owned by the White House, that's correct. The property line is just to the north of the vegetation there.
And there's a house next to it, so they've cut up to where they think the line is, but they weren't going to cut the rest of that, right?
That's correct. What happened there, Trustee Davis, was that the property to the north there, to the right, there, you can see the brick there. That property recently transferred, and the previous owner cut all the way to that driveway there. Well, the new owner knows where the correct property line is, and he's stopping there.
Okay.
So the house there at 493, we're used to the previous owner cutting to that point. So we're in a little
So
quandary
they've just
there.
ignored it for months because they got a
want
new
somebody to
neighbor?
do it.
I'm sorry?
So they've just decided to ignore it since they have a new neighbor and they,
That's correct.
okay.
And so was this just a visual that we went and saw, or did somebody call that in? The neighbor said, hey, this guy next to me won't cut the grass. Where'd this come from?
So believe it or not, 493 called on the house to the north.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
That you were correct in your thinking, and we try to educate we typically don't get involved in boundary lines, but we showed them a Cage's map, and that property line is to the north of that excessive vegetation, so.
And again, for those watching, we don't enjoy any of what we're doing right now. We hate to have to do any of these nuisance issuing, so we just want everyone to get along and to keep Delhi looking fantastic. But, okay, we'll do what we have to do. Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes. The next one is accumulated debris, correct?
That's correct.
Resolution 2025-128, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 4837 Narcissus Lane, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I know it's hard to see, but that is actually a chest freezer. That's what you're seeing there in that photograph.
Under that tarp?
Correct.
Thank you.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes.
Excuse me, Mr. Roach, all but one of these are repeat offenders, if I remember looking at all the reports.
That's correct.
All but one, so they keep.
Yes, if you look at the
Okay.
cover page there, it say repeater, yes.
Yep, okay.
And
Thank you.
Director Roach, I had a question that I need help for an answer, and it could be either you or Mr. Ripperger.
It's probably Ron.
It's called curb grass. It's grass growing between a curb and an asphalt surface.
The governor's
Who's-
strip?
Who's responsible for, because some of it's getting pretty high.
You have a specific area, I mean, like, is it on a county road, or is it on is it one of our residential streets?
I think I've seen it on both.
So you have, like, I'm going to speak on the residential side of it. I'll let Ron touch on the county roads. So you have that patch of grass, you have your yard, sidewalk, patch of grass, and the curb. That patch of grass between the sidewalk and the curb, that is township right away, but it's the homeowner's responsibility to maintain that area
Right.
on our township residential streets.
Now take that visual and take it down one more step. There's the curb, and here's the highway, the road, the cement, and growing between the curb and the beginning of the roadway, we've got greenery.
Oh, you're talking about in a crack between the asphalt
Yeah.
and concrete.
It's growing bushes.
Yeah, I usually call it the curb appeal, and typically the homeowner will take care of that in a lot of places, but you got to figure the township owns 55 miles, the county owns 55 miles. The county's not proactive in going and doing spots. We will do, on a spot by spot location, but we don't get into it too deep
I mean,
either.
there are areas where the homeowner has beautiful landscaping and is taking care of the yard, and you look down at the street area, and there's bushes growing between the asphalt and the curb.
So if that's a residential street, then that's going to be that homeowner's responsibility to maintain that, if it's one of our township residential streets.
Okay.
It typically revolves around weather, and with all the rain,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of times it just doesn't get that bad. This year, not the case.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do have one quick update, Madam Trustee, if I may.
Please.
Yep, so I just want to give you guys a heads up. I know I reported that the construction at Anderson Ferry and Rapid Run for the lane widening was supposed to start on July the 8th. We got a great relationship with the contractor, and it's being held up a little bit longer because they're waiting for some BP approval because the BP pipeline runs through there, and they're going to start. They had to disturb some dirt there, and there's some piping underneath there, so it's going to be delayed. But I reported originally that it was going to start on July the 8th, but it's just delayed for a short period of time.
So we're now at the mercy of those allowing the permits.
So it's not a permit, it's just, like, I guess Ron could probably speak to it better than I, but it's just, like I said, that pipeline runs right through that intersection right there. And anytime you go to disturb the dirt there, and Ron educated me, he said within a quarter mile, they have, if machinery's there and it starts to vibrate, there's sensors and alarms that alert BP that the soil is being disturbed. So they just want to be careful that we don't hit a pipe over there. They don't hit a pipeline as they're doing their construction.
That's good. All right. Thank you for sharing that. I have no public comments.
Actually, Trustee Seavey, if you don't mind, I'd like to do a quick add-on to community development. Mr. Roach and I had the opportunity to run out to one of our properties today. It was the property that was seeking an appeal. So Mr. Roach met with the resident there and had a great conversation, very positive, and simply talked about other options other than the appeal to resolve the issue. Tony and I looked at the situation, didn't really think appeal was the right way to go. It's just a lot of extra steps and bureaucracy that,
Hence the appeal was withdrawn.
Yeah, it wasn't going to resolve the issue.
Okay.
But I just wanted to publicly commend Mr. Roach for, working with a resident and seeking alternatives to, this formal appeal process.
Okay.
This is a situation I think is better handled administratively, with Mr. Roach. Hopefully it resolves out. It's not resolved yet, but I think we had a good start today and a good interaction with a resident. So, Tony, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Good. Like we always say, we don't like doing these, and we're willing to work with anybody to resolve the issues. So thank you, both of you, for dealing with that. All right, public comments, I have none. We can move on then to announcement of community events. Mr. Miller?
Yes, ma'am. All right. Got quite a few here, and I'm actually going to pull Ms. Volley up here to help me out. We have an additional event that didn't get a card made for it, so we'll get to that in just a minute. All right, announcing our Delhi Summer Concert Series for 2025. Concerts are held at our Delhi Park Pavilion at 7 p.m. and run until 9:30 p.m. Thanks to our generous sponsors, Delhi Duncan, Seton High School, St. Dominic Athletic Association, Riverview Delhi Hills Kiwanis, Kruger Law, Duber's Carryout, Delhi Skyline Chili, James J. Luby CPA, and Robin Florist. Our next concert is July 23rd, featuring the Eagles Project. Also coming up in August and September, we have August 6th, Deviate, August 20th, The Menus, September 3rd, Forever Diamond, and September 17th, the Cincinnati Transit Authority. As always, food and drinks are available for purchase, but no coolers, please. Also, every Saturday from 9 a.m. until noon at Clearview Lake, we have the Delhi Farmers Market. That's Clearview Lake on Foley Road with roughly 30 vendors selling a variety of goods, so come check it out. Upcoming entertainment at the Lawn at Delhi Town Square. The Lawn is open on Friday and Saturday from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. Upcoming concerts starting at 7 p.m. First off, Friday, July 11th, we have Wayward Son. This is the Night Ranger cover band had to cancel, so this is a replacement group that was able to fit our schedule so thank you for working with us. Also coming up, we have Goose and Briz on Saturday, July 12th, and then Friday, July 18th, Madcap Puppets, the Fantastic Fairy Tales. Okay. All right, Jenny, come on up. You can help me out with this one too.
Okay.
Also coming up, we have our Foundation Paper Piece Quilting session number 2. This is on Thursdays from July 24th through August 14th. Up here in the Event Center, Delhi Town Square, costs $80. Learn this fascinating and easy way to quilt blocks with intricate designs using foundation paper. Depending on the number of squares you complete, you can make enough for a pillow, table runner, or quilt. Materials needed: 1 yard of background fabric, neutral white or cream. Register at the Delhi Event Center's website, and it's been very popular. Jenny, is there anything else you want to say about that?
Actually, I have a very, very good student in it.
Yep.
Who's quite accomplished, inspires everybody else.
I'm learning a lot. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's see here. Also, we have the summer day camp. There are still openings available. Next week up is July 14th, and it is, help me out, Drama Llama.
Drama Llama,
then Christmas in July, Jungle Safari, Crazy Olympics, and It's Your Birthday. Visit Delhi Event Center website for a full description and register. Also, so we don't have a card for this, but July 19th, we have...
Yes, we have a very unusual thing in this side of town. It's Look Twice, a memorial ride for Alicia. It's a motorcycle ride, and we are going to be hosting motorcycles, vintage motorcycles from all over. They're coming in the morning for food truck and breakfast, and then they'll leave around 10 to go to Metamora for a ride. And then they'll come back after the ride, and there'll be food trucks for lunch, and the bar will be open, and we will have swap meet and vendors and a bike show showing all the vintage bikes. So it should be a very interesting, fun night, sponsored by Cafe Racers. And it's just hitting a different audience than we've hit before, so I'm real excited about it. And Alicia, who the memorial ride is about, passed away this past year. She was very much a proponent of bike safety, so they're going to emphasize bike safety on this.
Nice. And the show is open to the public, so
it's open to the public, absolutely. You want to come see these bikes. They're pretty amazing.
Yep. This is Cafe Racers. This isn't like Harleys, right?
No, I don't believe there's Harleys. I think it's more your Nortons and your Indians and your vintage era.
Pretty cool. All right.
Sometimes they even dress vintage, which is kind of cool.
All right. Thank you, Jenny, very much. And we'll get that, we'll get more, I think we already did post some things on Facebook. We'll keep pushing that. All right. Riverview Delhi Kiwanis Rolling on the River Car Show is Sunday, July 27th. Registration is 8 to noon. Awards are at 3 p.m. Registration is now open at www.rollingontherivercarshow.com. Okay. And I believe it's our final announcement. We have the Delhi Skirt Game coming up Thursday, July 31st, softball tournament to determine who will play in the skirt game. And then Friday, August 1st, is the skirt game event with softball game, Howlin' and Max Band, and an amazing fireworks display. This starts at 5 p.m., runs until 11 p.m. both nights. It is at the Delhi Park. Fun for the whole family. Food and drinks are available. The food and drink booths, food trucks, kids zone, and adult money games. So come check it out.
Mr. Miller, may I add, the Riverview Rolling on the River Car Show is at Fernbank Park. It doesn't have the location on here, but it's at Fernbank Park.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, Route 50 West, River Road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep, sorry about that.
No,
Thank
that's
you.
okay. No.
Oh, there it is. Top
there
top
now,
left
yeah.
under the
Very
car.
top.
Fernbank Park. Fernbank.
All right.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right. Any other announcements, anyone? Okay. All right. Well, we do not have reason for executive session this evening, so we can call for adjournment.
With no further business to be brought before this board, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. This meeting is adjourned. Our next regular meeting is Wednesday, July the 30th at 6 p.m. See you then.
All